Why did we evolve only in Africa? Soft ambient background music begins, soothing tones of wind, distant drums, and nature sounds. Welcome to History for Sleep. Tonight, we journey back, far, far back, to the very beginning of us. The story of humanity did not begin in Europe, not in Asia, not in the Americas. It began in Africa, the cradle of civilization, the land where the first sparks of human life flickered into existence. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine the world as it was, millions of years ago. Feather Part 1, the birthplace of life. Long before humans walked the earth, Africa was already ancient. The continent's mountains, deserts, and rivers had seen the rise and fall of countless creatures, from the earliest fish in its primordial seas to the giant dinosaurs that roamed its plains. But among all this life, something remarkable began to stir. Somewhere in East Africa, around 7 million years ago, lived a creature called Sahelanthropus chidensis. It wasn't human, not yet, but it stood on two legs. That small, simple change, standing upright, would one day change the fate of the world. Walking on two legs freed our ancestors' hands. Hands that would someday shape tools, create art, and build civilizations. Africa's vast savannas, shifting climates, and wild diversity forced early hominins to adapt, to think, to solve problems, to survive. Nature, in her wisdom, was sculpting the first humans. Fire Part 2, the rise of Homo. Over millions of years, evolution crafted new species, Australopithecus, then Homo habilis, the handy man. He was the first to make tools from stone, chipping them into sharp edges to hunt and to protect. But Africa was changing again. Grasslands expanded, forests shrank, and new challenges arose. It was here, in this crucible of change, that Homo erectus appeared, taller, stronger, and smarter. He controlled fire, traveled in groups, and began to explore beyond his homeland. For the first time, humans left Africa. They reached Asia and Europe, but those who stayed behind would continue to evolve, in ways no one else did. Globe Part 3, Why Africa? So, why Africa? Why there, and nowhere else? The answer lies in its diversity. Africa's environments are extreme, from tropical rainforests to endless deserts, from fertile valleys to deadly droughts. Every generation faced new challenges: hunger, heat, predators, disease. Those who survived passed on their resilience, their intelligence, their adaptability. Africa became evolution's greatest laboratory. The continent's Great Rift Valley acted like a natural museum, preserving fossils for millions of years, showing scientists today exactly how we evolved. From Lucy, the tiny Australopithecus in Ethiopia, to Homo naledi in South Africa, every discovery whispers the same truth. We are all children of Africa. Milky Way Part 4, the dawn of modern humans. Around 300,000 years ago, deep in Africa, something extraordinary happened. A new species emerged, Homo sapiens. Us. Our brains grew larger. We learned to speak, to dream, to love, and to imagine things that did not yet exist. In the caves of South Africa and along the coasts of Morocco, we painted, crafted jewelry, and sang songs to the stars. We were still few, fragile, small tribes living under vast skies. But inside our minds burned the fire of curiosity. And so, we began to wander. Compass Part 5, Out of Africa. Between 70,000 and 100,000 years ago, humans began their greatest migration. From Africa, we crossed deserts, mountains, and frozen seas. We reached Asia, Europe, the Pacific Islands, and eventually, the Americas. Everywhere we went, we carried a piece of Africa within us, in our DNA, in our bones, in our hearts. No matter how far we traveled, we never truly left our first home. Dove Part 6, One Human Family. Modern science confirms it. Every human alive today, every color, every culture, traces their ancestry back to Africa. We are all branches of the same ancient tree. Our roots lie deep in African soil. The next time you look up at the night sky, remember. The eyes that first gazed at those stars, wondering what lay beyond, look just like yours. Africa didn't just give birth to humanity. It gave birth to hope, curiosity, and the endless quest to understand ourselves. Crescent Moon Part 7, as you drift to sleep. And now, as your body relaxes and your breathing slows, imagine standing on that ancient African plain. The air is warm, the horizon glows with sunset. In the distance, you see campfires flicker, the first humans gathered together, sharing stories, just like this one. You close your eyes. The wind carries the sounds of the past, whispers of ancestors, singing softly across time. You are part of that story. You are the continuation of everything that began there. Sleep peacefully tonight, for the story of us began long ago, in the heart of Africa. And it continues within you. Music fades into gentle night sounds. Crickets, distant fire crackling, and a soft heartbeat-like rhythm. Scroll YouTube description. Globe: why did we evolve only in Africa? Discover the true origins of humanity in this 1-hour relaxing history documentary, perfect for sleep, meditation, or quiet learning. From our earliest ancestors to modern humans, explore how Africa became the cradle of life. Headphone ideal for sleep and relaxation, deep learning, late-night history lovers. TV: subscribe to History for Sleep for more 1+ hour bedtime documentaries and stories every night. Bookmark hashtags. Hashtag History for Sleep, hashtag Evolution, hashtag Africa, hashtag Human Origins, hashtag Bedtime Story, hashtag Sleep Story, hashtag Science History, hashtag Human Evolution, hashtag Documentary, hashtag Relaxing Narration, hashtag Ancient History. Label keywords and tags. Evolution, Human Origins, Why Africa, Cradle of Humanity, Homo sapiens, Out of Africa Theory, Anthropology, Early Humans, Prehistoric Life, Ancient Africa, Human History, Educational Sleep Story, Bedtime History, Relaxing Documentary.